This is going to be my reaction video to the Ravens' 23-20 win over the Browns. It certainly wasn't pretty, and it damn sure wasn't fun, at least for me to watch. I'm not sure about you. There was this sense of foreboding in the fourth quarter, even as our offense twice built 10-point leads, and I thought the drive to turn the 2013 lead into a 23-13 lead was awesome. I thought there were some really cool play calls and great job of executing by our guys. The game plan was very conservative. There can be no doubt. And people are going to have complaints about that, understandably so. Like, we're Ravens fans. We want to be, we want to be 7-0 or we want to be 6-1. So we're all going to have reason to complain, and I do too. I actually do think, though, that the conservative game plan was kind of smart. I think Harbaugh even kind of alluded to it in one of his press conferences, maybe Thursday, maybe Wednesday, calling it, a two-game approach. I don't think he used the word doubleheader, but I think that's kind of what he meant. I don't watch the press conferences or listen to them. I don't have time to. But look, I think Lamar's hurt, and I have said that. I kind of said that a little bit in a couple of videos last week, and even in his post-game press conference, I thought he had his jersey pulled up a little bit, and it looked like to me he had a little bit bulkier rib protection on, but I might be wrong, and I haven't looked at it a second time. That was just an initial impression. Andrews clearly is not 100%. He just went through a game and didn't get a single catch. I know the Browns, apparently did some things coverage-wise to try to limit him, but there's nobody really on that Browns team that is able to guard him one-on-one. So if they were double-teaming him, which I don't believe they were doing every play, I think they were playing a lot of zone, to be honest with you, a lot of soft zone, forcing us to throw the ball underneath. So I don't think Andrews is 100%. Bateman, even on the big third down catch that he had, he didn't look 100% to me. So I think the conservative game plan, given that we play on Thursday, I think that may have played into it a little bit. I can't prove that, obviously, because, but you can't either, because you're not in team meetings, and neither am I. Stanley with the flu, and then Peters, thankfully, was able to go. I thought Pepe looked good in some of the situations he was in, coverage-wise. I'm glad that we rotate people on defense, but the one thing that we talked about in our Discord is there'll be 60% of possessions, something like that, where we look great. We look fine. I think there were 6 possessions today. Defense played really well. And then there's 2 possessions where we look like a totally different defense. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's personnel groupings by the offense dictating to us who's on the field. I don't know if it's our personnel groupings. But, I thought the defense looked really shaky for 3 possessions in the second half. Maybe it was 3 possessions. You got to give credit to Jacoby Brissett. I put a tweet out there about him, man, 30 years old, guy's always been criticized. Professional quarterback, has an opportunity to start. Yeah, they're 2-5 right now. But I thought he stood in there and played well. Thought there was 3 situations where it looked like we had him sacked, and he got out of there and completed 2 passes and then scrambled to try to set up, I think, the game-tying field goal there, which unfortunately for them, was correctly ruled, in my opinion, that I don't know exactly what they call the penalty on, but to me, I see the center move the ball twice. And they showed it from the end zone angle, and I thought the center moved the ball twice. They were talking about his head moving. I saw the ball adjust twice, and that's not normal. To me, that looked like an attempt by them to try to get the thing 5 yards closer. But it kind of doesn't matter because Malik Harrison blocked it. So I don't know what you want. Like in some other simulation or side turn version of reality, does Malik Harrison not block it if they're 5 yards closer? I guess. I don't know. All I know is he did. So what are we doing? And look, the Browns team, to be honest with you, I'm going to let the screen run here. That Browns team is not that bad. I know that they have a lot of injuries. Hey, newsflash, so do we. If you're not a Ravens fan, you're listening to this. The Ravens have a ton of injuries we're still dealing with, besides the guys that I just, offered to you. But the Browns, they got top-end talent. When Deshaun Watson is healthy, obviously they're a different thing, but Nick Chubb's best running back in the game, or one of them. We faced the best 2 running backs, or 2 of the top 3 in the league in the last 2 weeks, in Saquon Barkley and Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb did have 91 yards today, but he's got 4 100-yard games on the season. I think 3 times he's gone over 130. And as you see on the screen, he went 16 for 91 today. Take away that 22-yarder, and the numbers are pretty good for us. But I thought they overwhelmed us on the first possession, and I'll show you a breakdown of that here in a moment. And then Myles Garrett. He did have the 1 sack that I'm aware of. I don't think he had a second one, but I could be wrong. So and look, to be honest with you, they should have beat the Jets. All right? The Browns should have beat the Jets. They very easily could have beat the Chargers. They're down on the 7 or the 9-yard line against the Chargers 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. And they throw an interception on third down. Brissett is targeting Amari Cooper. and then they miss a field goal, which was a long field goal, for that matter, and they lose 30-28, they very easily could have beat the Chargers. That team could have 4 wins. Hell, count today's game if you want to, if you're a Browns fan. So that's just a margin for error in the NFL. It is way smaller than we think it is, even when we think our team is more talented. I'm not a boo bird. Like, it's a win. I think it was Skeptic Goat or somebody on Twitter said, a win is a win, and the other teams that have come back to beat us, they're going to celebrate their wins, and I think we should too. I feel like there's people out there that remind me of Gloria in that movie White Men Can't Jump with Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson, where Gloria says, like, sometimes when you win, you actually lose. And I love her character, and that was a great movie. It's a classic. But that's not true in the NFL. When you win, you win. This is a win. Even though, like, there's 20% of me that doesn't feel great about the win either. I feel like we're a better team than we showed today. For real, I do. But again, I suspect that our quarterback, definitely our tight end, Andrews, and other guys were dealing with injuries, and there was a conservative game plan actually put out there by the coaches. Do I like us to throw the ball more? Absolutely. I'm the one who's like, I think we should be throwing on first down. But it was great to see Gus Edwards come back, and I thought the impact was obvious. When he was in there, he broke multiple tackles right at the line of scrimmage. Gus is just a special talent. He's not going to get the credit he deserves in terms of running backs across the league, but Gus is a special talent, a huge part of what we do. Usually in these in these reaction videos, what I do is I will go over my notes from halftime and then kind of pick up from there. So I just read these off. Next time, I was thinking about actually just showing you guys what they are. So I'm going to read off some of my notes and pause a couple of times. The Browns dominated the opening possession. That 11-play, 75-yard drive to go up 7-0. It felt like 14-0. That's how one-sided that possession was. And I am going to show you my notes for that one because, it's worthy of attention if you ask me. Here's the first drive for the Browns to go up 7-0. There's the down distance on the left, the yard line personnel formation, run, pass, is the fourth or fifth column, I guess, and then a concept and a result all the way to the right. I mean, they dominated. They dominated 3 plays of 10-plus yards, actually 13-plus yards. The screen to Chubb on the second play really got us, I thought, on our back foot. The 4th-and-1 sneak that Brissett got for 1 yard. We just were not playing well. That was scary for me because we did not look ready for their physicality. I know they were missing their right guard. I know Njoku went out later on in the game. But they started the quarterback, Brissett, started 5 for 5. And it was all quick, short passes, and people were wide open on the hashes. Like, Bynes is on the right hash, and there's nobody on the left hash. I don't suspect that, Queen should have been there or something. But it looks like teams, when they line up in empty, have a real good idea of our coverage, and they just pick us. It's quick. Like 3-step routes. Bang, ball snap, bang. Quarterback gets rid of it. And now, look, Jacoby Brissett's stats for today are in line with his stats for the year. I think he threw for 255 yards. Maybe it's 265. He's had a number of games around that number. Actually, a little bit less than that. 240 range, 245. Didn't throw any touchdowns against us today, I don't think. Didn't throw any interceptions. We did force the 2 turnovers, which was amazing. And I'll talk about Justin Houston later. But this first drive, let me know what you think. I mean, it was scary, especially them runs by Chubb. The off-tackle runs, man, where the guard pulls and they take it way off tackle. That's a unique run scheme in the NFL today, if you ask me. It's like Chubb will kind of like move into the line of scrimmage or toward the line of scrimmage, and then late he'll veer out behind that pulling guard, and they're looping it all the way around off tackle. When that started hitting us like that, I was worried. I thought, oh boy, here we can't stop them. And then I thought the defense did a great job, for real. We answered with 2 field goals. I think we eventually get it to 10-6. The completion of Duvernay up the right side, I offered to you earlier that I think Lamar's not completely healthy, but he looked great on that throw. And then he looked great on the 3rd down throw to Bateman later on in the first half. 32-yard completion to Duve up the right sideline. Great throw. We need more throws like that. We need more balls like that up sideline. We only got a field. We held them to a field goal on their second possession. The Browns were up 10-3 at the end of the first quarter. And then our first possession of the second quarter was so weird. We go 2 play action passes. It was our second possession. They got pressure both times. sets up a 3rd and long. They just seemed like Browns. They just seemed like they were in control. They just seemed like they were in serious control up to like early second quarter. Stout, after our second possession, I believe, has a bomb of a punt, and then the Browns punter turns around and has a 76-yarder that nearly stayed out of the end zone. It looked like we were setting up a wall punt return on that one, and Duve retreated and then elected not to catch it. And then I thought it became like AFC North football in the second quarter for real. Calais came by a huge stop on a run play to Chubb on first down. Oweh had that tip pass on second down when Matabike kind of flashed in front of the quarterback's face. And they tried to call, I think that's when they tried to call the penalty on Oweh. But, you know, in hindsight, when they looked at it again on the replay, you could see that he didn't really make contact with the helmet and a face mask. If he did, it was after making contact with the football. The Browns hit us with, I thought, like a delay screen to the boundary on a 2nd and long. Eventually, we took a 13-10 lead on just a fantastic drive that I want to show you and talk about a little bit. It was capped by a 7-yard touchdown run by Gus following Ricard. I'm going to try to show something this week, what I think the Browns were doing. They're the first team to really stop our counter wind back. I think when we're in the pistol and Ricard is on one side, I think they're rolling someone down to that side. And the DN to that side, when Ricard goes in motion, that DN is just running down the line of scrimmage at the running back. You know, again, Lamar is opening at the DN, and the running back is veering the other way behind Ricard and a pulling lineman. The DN's just making a tackle. So Lamar needs to keep it. Well, I think they're rolling a safety down to the back side of that. I think the Browns had it played excellently. But on this fourth possession, we had 3 amazing plays by Lamar. You know, like I said, I don't think he's 100%, just my impression. But that 3rd and 11 play was late in the progression. I think the Browns rushed 4, and he finds Bateman. Looks like man to me for 26. I didn't think Bateman's acceleration looked like the Bateman we saw in the first 3 weeks. Like, you remember that catch along the left sideline against the Patriots? He jukes a guy and gets like another 12 yards in an instant. I didn't see that type of acceleration even on this catch when I thought he juked one guy and then just ran out of room on the sideline. So that was amazing by Lamar. We run another counter wind back concept. Same DN, number 94 is there again. It's the 4th play listed from the top for you. Gus on a little cutback on power for 6. And then on 3rd and 2, we run QB power read. I thought Lamar gave it. Lamar is so good at that. He puts the ball in Duvernay's, stomach. And it looked like he handed it off to me. For an instant, I even thought the cameraman, kind of panned down because it was top side of the screen to the bottom side of the screen. Lamar kept it 10 yards, and I think that was the one that Trent Green said. Actually, it was 2 of them. Trent Green said something like that one could have been, even bigger. So that was a huge play on 3rd and 2, 10-yard gain by Lamar. Like I said, I think he gutted one out today. Gus on a stretch play. I'm so glad we brought that back with him. And then this 2nd and 6 to Likely over the middle for 16. I think that was his only catch today, but he wasn't targeted a whole lot either. It seemed to me as if we were using Andrews to get Likely open on that play. It was, again, this is 2nd and 6 from the 33. That was a great play call, great throw by Lamar. Then Lamar gets the scramble along the right side. A lot of time, just a ton of time. Again, I think the Browns were bringing 4, dropping 7 guys in zone. He gets 10, maybe 11 to push the ball down to the 8-yard line. And then Gus follows Ricard for an 8-yard touchdown run, 7-yard touchdown run maybe. Put us up 13-10. I don't know about you, but I had a great feeling after that possession. I was like, how is this game switching so quickly? We were blown away in a lot of ways in the first quarter, And then all of a sudden, we're up 13-10. Browns get the ball, and man, it just looks like they are going to score immediately. I'm talking about the very next possession with about 2 minutes left in the first half. And I'm going to show you that one here because it's I'm going to call it the Justin Houston possession. But before we stopped them, it was like, again, they're in empty, and it's like we have no ability to defend that. We give up screens to people out of empty. We give up short passes. I don't know what we're doing alignment-wise. I'm going to have to do a video this week and try to learn for myself what we're doing because I can't offer you from the broadcast view. I can't really offer you an explanation. But you can see early in this drive, again, this is after Gus's touchdown to put us up 13-10. Now, there was a penalty on the Browns on the kickoff. I thought Hamilton made the tackle or maybe he missed it and somebody else did. But he was right there. and they go 7 yards, 18 yards, 8 yards. Then they get the pass interference on Peters, which I think was a terrible call on 3rd and 2. Like, Peters is just guarding the guy along the right sideline. It's 2022, so they're gonna call that. But I just think he's playing defense and he's in better position than the receiver. So I don't know. Maybe you have a different opinion than me. And then Oweh misses a sack, or Brissett escapes him. Like, let's give Brissett credit, man. He showed his capability today. Houston was there with the sack on the 1st and 10. Then the 2nd and 11. Houston with another sack for a loss of 8. Just crazy, man. You know, the guy can play. So blessed to have him back. And that's one point at which I'm going to stop a little bit. It's okay for us all to be negative about certain things, but we're still an incomplete football team, guys. I mean, we are. We are not 100% injury-wise. We're not going to be 100% Thursday down in Tampa Bay. It seems to be setting up for us to be, 100% healthy after the bye. And I know we've got, the Saints and I think the Panthers, packaged around that. But my point is, we're still an incomplete football team roster-wise. You guys from listening to my videos know that, if I was going to upgrade something with this team, it would be slot corner. That's just me. I'm not saying that, another really good receiver wouldn't help us, but personally, I want to get the ball to Devin Duvernay. I don't want DJ Moore. I don't want, whoever else. I want Devin Duvernay to get the football. I don't know what you're seeing. I'm seeing a team that has not identified yet the way that teams scout us. Mark Andrews is going to have 8-10 catches if he plays great. He's going to have 120 yards, maybe 2 touchdowns. But they're all going to be 12, 14, 16-yard catches. Rashad Bateman's got big playability. I think Devin Duvernay is if I was scouting our team, now you might say, well, this is crazy. I think he's our 4th most dangerous guy. Devin Duvernay's the guy that we can't let get off on us. He's the guy we can't let get open space. I don't know why we're not getting him the ball more. But in any case, Justin Houston, huge moment, 2 sacks on consecutive plays, gets us to halftime, 13-10, and then we take a knee. And my notes at halftime, Andrews had done nothing so far. The Browns seem to be dropping off 6 or 7 in zone, and we're just not getting open. Having said that, Lamar had the 2 great throws on the one drive to put us up 13-10, a great scramble, and then an awesome call on the QB power read. So give him credit even on a day when this is my notes at halftime, even on a day when he doesn't appear to be, 100%. Browns looked unstoppable early, and Justin Houston's impact was huge. We're going to need at least 10 points. This is my notes. Like I said, we're going to need at least 10 points to win this game. Of course, it was 13-10, and we ended up winning the game 23-20. So it was exactly right there. Second half is our biggest challenge. So a wasted possession to open the third quarter. For real. We go 1 back, trips, and we get a sack to start. Everybody, I don't know if you pay attention but the way I do, but, when we go 1 back under center, it's play action. We're not running the ball. I need to do that video this week. I've mentioned it 3 weeks in a row. Multiple people have asked me about it. I need to do that video to prove it, just so you guys know that I'm not just, throwing something out there. And then we had an incomplete pass to Andrews, and then another sack, and the offense just was lacking identity at that point. Browns get the ball. And then just huge. Calais Campbell forced fumble on a sack, and the offense gets it back, and we finally stick it in the end zone, and I think that ends up being our – not that one. I think it's our 8th possession. My bad. It's our 7th possession. Sorry. It's the one that puts us up 20-10. So I believe this is after Calais Campbell forces the fumble. We get the ball, in their territory, as you can see by the yard line up there in the top left. We get the ball into plus 25, and we didn't do much, on the first 2 plays. Didn't do much at all. The give to Drake on the 2nd and 9, only got 2 yards. I thought he should have turned it up and challenged 28, JOK, however you say his name. I thought, Drake should have challenged him as opposed to just running for the sideline. And then the 3rd and 7, the obvious defensive hold, on their safety. I think Delpit trying to guard Andrews man-to-man. And then the next 2 plays, we actually go against our tendencies. I'll try to show the 1st and 10 from the 17-yard line. We go jokers, and Ricard and the running back. Jokers is Lamar in the shotgun, 1 running back to his right, 1 running back to his left. So the 1st and 10 from their 17-yard line, we go jokers. Ricard is on our right. The running back, whoever it was, I think it was Drake, was on our left. Lamar fakes to the running back following Ricard. But both guards pull in the opposite direction. So we went against our tendencies and jokers, which I thought was a great call. Lamar kept it for 7. The Browns had good pursuit there. The very next play, I thought I saw Duve at running back on the 2nd and 3 from the 10, but I could be wrong. The announcers a couple of times got names wrong. So, and I'm writing, or as you can see, I'm typing, excuse me, as the game is happening. So I might be wrong there. I thought Duve was at running back. Lamar kept it for 7 yards, got us to the 1st and goal. And we're not able to get anything done. I thought the 3rd and goal was amazing. I think that's what we need to do with Bateman. The 3rd and goal from the 5. Bateman was in the slot to the left and runs a slant. Initially, I thought he was in, but then on the review or the replay you see, he was clearly down, and we get the touchdown to Gus on the next play. That's the thing about Gus. He's such a great short yardage back. It was a reverse pivot by Lamar. That's what I call belly, is the quarterback reverse pivoting. But back to that 3rd and goal, I think that's what we need to do, man, is put Bateman in the slot in some of these situations. And think about what the Patriots did with Edelman. Think about what so many teams do with like the little quick slots. They put him in the slot and give him a opportunity to run a slant, a whip route in, whatever. They give him and Bateman has that ability. I just think we have a guy there who can win those matchups, those 3rd downs, and he did win that matchup there. We just, unfortunately, we didn't get in the end zone there because we were a little bit short. So that touchdown by Gus puts us up 20-10, and I know it was ominous for you because it was ominous for me. Like, oh, here we go. We got a 10-point lead. What are we going to do with it? And the Browns go right down and get a field goal, like literally right down. And to back up a second, the announcers have mentioned Stanley going off the field during the previous possession. I didn't see that. Like, I'm charting or typing stuff, so I didn't see where he went off the field, or maybe I misheard them. I just thought it sounded like he was being rotated. It sounded like Trent Green was trying to correct the guy and say that they were just rotating Stanley in. So let me know if you're aware of any issues with Stanley's health, because I didn't think that we came out with any issues. I put big possession for the defense now, and the Broncos just tore us up. The Browns just tore us up. Chubb went off tackle twice. There was a defensive pass interference on Stone. I thought it was an overthrown ball by Brissett, intended for Peoples-Jones. Stone did hit him before the ball got there. A little bit of a weird call, but there was definitely, contact. And then the Browns, they put Cooper in the slot twice, kind of like I was just talking about with Bateman. And they ran like smash concepts or like a slot fade. One of them they ran against Pepe. It was Cooper against Pepe in a far left end zone. And it was incomplete, a little bit overthrown. I thought Pepe did a good job. I didn't think the coverage was that bad. Forcing the throw out of bounds. Then the 3rd down pass was a little short, so the Browns settled for a field goal to get 20-13. And I thought this was a huge moment on the next possession. Multiple huge moments. It's 20-13. And to me, the play of the game is the toss to Lamar from Andrews. I'm not pro or anti Greg Roman. I just want to do what works. Like, I don't care who it is. I don't care who is calling plays. I just want to see us score. And this to me was interesting as I don't know what. Andrews goes under. Well, actually, let me back up. There's a 3rd and 3 from our own 36. We run triple option. Gus and someone else is in the backfield. I thought it was Duve again, but maybe I missaw it. We give to Gus, but Lamar is definitely running out option to the right, and the other running back, again, Jokers is a running back to his right and his left in the shotgun. The other running back is running out pitch relationship to the side where Gus lined up originally. So it's just triple option from the gun, and I had never seen us run that before. Makes sense we will run it to our right because I don't think Lamar's used to pitching the ball. So if we're going to run something where he might pitch it, we're going to run to the right because he's right-handed. We're not going to run it to our left, expect him to pitch the ball with his left hand when he never does that. So that converted a 3rd and 3. I thought it was huge. Then there was a draw to Hill for 9. The 3rd and 1 call, Ricard is short. I think it was a reverse pivot by Lamar. Ricard was on the right. I think the run play was to the left. And then the 4th down. The 4th and 1, I thought this was huge. It's not going to get mentioned. Harrison's block is a huge play. I understand that, and credit to him. But this is amazing. Andrews goes under center, acts like he's going to snap the ball for the quarterback sneak, kind of even like relaxes his posture for an instant, almost to make the defense think, oh, we're not going to snap it. And then he snaps it and tosses it to Lamar. When Lamar caught that ball, he looked like he was in 5th gear the moment he caught it to me. Maybe I'm exaggerating because I'm such a big Lamar fan, or whatever young people call it now, Stan or something like that. I just thought it was a great call. I thought it was great execution by Andrews. Lamar looked like he had a lead blocker there. I can't remember who they said it was. But awesome moment. But unfortunately, we not able to get down there and get a touchdown. So the field goal only puts us up by 10 after the incompletion to Bateman. I thought Bateman played well. You let me know what you think. I thought Bateman played well, other than that route, which to me looked like something that he would normally catch, or he's able to catch. Let me put it that way. It looked like a speed out to the boundary. That puts us up 23-13. And then the defense just kind of falls apart. I mean, this is just maddening to me. 23-13. I think 10-20 left, something like that. Actually, maybe it's 11-20 left. Brissett scrambles for 10 plus. Chubb runs for another 10. Then he runs for 11. And I thought, and Bynes went down with an injury with like 10 minutes left, maybe 10-20. For a moment there, I thought Bynes was intentionally playing hurt to stop the game for a couple of minutes. He stayed down on the ground, talked to two staff members, kind of got up, and they just kind of laughed while they were walking it off. I thought to myself, oh, that's pretty smart, forced to stop. But I don't think he came back in, so he apparently was legitimately hurt. I could be wrong. We gave up a touchdown. They just punched us in the mouth. Every run concept they ran worked. Hunt eventually punched it in from 3 yards on a cutback. It just looked like the defense. It looked like the defense was continually taking on kick-out blocks and setting it inside. And there's no one to fill in that gap on the inside. There just was no one there. At some point, I got to think about spilling it. I understand it's Chubb and Hunt, and they're talented guys. You want to spill it outside and make us chase them? I mean, yeah. If the kick-out concepts are just gashing us like they were, yeah. Defense looked done. Just looked done. And then, the turnover by Hill. That's frustrating and disappointing for him because, he's having such a great season, in my opinion. He's playing well, having such an impact. There would have apparently been a hold on McCarry anyway, but it was a great run by Justice Hill. Originally going off to our right, the bottom side of the TV screen, and then cutting it back against the grain, almost like two cutbacks. We're running the ball down their throats. Just over 3 minutes left. We've got all the momentum. That's not on coaches, guys. Like, to digress for a second, that's not on coaches. That's on our players. That's just period. Because we just moving the ball. Here's our drive summary there. Run for 7 yards, or pass for 7 yards. Run for 2. Run for 1 to get a first down. Pass for 10. That was a screen to Duve. Run for 4. Run for 5. And then 3rd and 1, the call to Andrews to run the football. I thought that was amazing. We line up in empty, motion Andrews back in the backfield and run him up the middle for 5. Then Hill for 5. Then Hill spinning off tackles for 4. And then Lamar on the QB counter read on 3rd and 1 gets 9. That was the one that Trent Green said almost could have went to the house. And then Hill loses a yard. So it's 2nd and 11 from the 24. A great run by Hill, and he fumbles it. That's not on coaching. Like, if you're going to sit here and talk about our coaches not executing, I mean, you're going to talk about Justice Hill too. For real. Because that's a player who is put in position to succeed and gives the ball to the other team. It's a definitive moment where we can go down and finish the game. And instead, we give them the football right back. It's tough for me to say because Justice Hill's having such a great year. At least if you ask me, he's having a great year. Browns start to move the ball. They get a 38-yard completion to Peoples-Jones. That was tough. Thankfully, they called the offensive pass interference on the 3rd and 2 on Amari Cooper. I mean, it was clear. But they're not calling that a lot lately. It just doesn't seem like they're calling it. I saw George Pickens have a touchdown catch earlier this year. Maybe it was a preseason touchdown catch, actually, where he pushed off in the same exact way that Cooper did. I forget who it was I saw 3 weeks ago do the same thing in the end zone. It's like, if you're going to call the defense for every little thing, you guys got to call the offense stuff too. So thankfully they called that. Otherwise, that was going to be a 34-yard touchdown to Amari Cooper. Sets up a 3rd and 12 on a 44. If Lamar's toss for a first down isn't the play of the game, or Andrews' run on 3rd and 1 for 5 yards isn't the play of the game, then this one is. I mean, Houston gets there on Brissett. Brissett spins out. Oweh chases him down. for 6-yard gain, set up the 4th and 6 from the 36, and they call the penalty on them. I don't know, man. I don't know whether it should have been called on them. I don't know whether it should have been called on us. All I know is we blocked the kick. We blocked it. That's all I know. So you have to keep playing football. It sucks for them if it should have been a penalty on us. They stop our run, obviously. We get a good punt way back there. And just an underrated play by Donovan Peoples-Jones on our punt with about 30 seconds left. Ball looks like it's settling on the 1 or something like that. And one of our guys is trying to down it before it rolls into the end zone. And Donovan Peoples-Jones literally blocks our guy into the end zone. Just a really savvy veteran play. They take over, and of course, we get the forced fumble by Stone to finish the game. I thought some of our guys played well, some of our young guys. Stone, I thought, played well. I thought he had 2 coverage situations. He looked a little slow to react. I thought Hamilton played well. He had a sack early. He did have a missed tackle on Hunt out in open space. I thought he did a nice job covering the running back at least one time in another situation. We just finished step 1 of this doubleheader, I guess you could say, and we got to win. Now we got Tom Brady and the Bucs on Thursday. They didn't look great. They didn't look great today, clearly. Losing to Carolina that seems to be mailing it in on one level, getting rid of their best player, but they got a lot of other good players that were on the field today. So like when they say the Panthers without Christian McCaffrey, Panthers still have a lot of talent. Still have a lot of talent there. And they were able to beat the Bucs pretty convincingly. So I don't know. Do you feel good at 4-3? I don't feel great, for real. I really don't feel great after this win, but it is a win. And I'm thankful that we closed one out. If it was a 70-minute game, do we win today? I'm not so sure. Just for the way the gameplay was going. But I feel like it was an intentionally conservative game plan. I feel like we were recognizing the fact that we're playing 2 games in 5 days, and we weren't trying to wear Lamar out. Like, think of last year when we had to go into overdrive with Lamar to beat the Vikings, right? And then 4 days later, we play the Dolphins down in Miami. Kind of a franchise-altering game if you look at the record last year at that time, right? I think we was 8-3. Now, I don't think we wanted to burn Lamar out today. First of all, I think he's less than 100%. I do. I think Andrews is less than 100%. I think Bateman is still close to he's close to 100%. I'm not sure that he's there. Marcus Peters is clearly not 100%. At this point, Marcus Peters has some speed deficiencies in certain situations. Let's just say it. But he's smart enough. He's got enough heart and guts to make up for it, and the intelligence to recognize situations when he can take a chance, when he can be a little handsy. Like, all of those guys, to me, gutted one out today. Ronnie Stanley gutted one out. Now, if you want to sit there and complain about our offense only averaging 4 yards per carry, 17 first downs, 254 overall yards, go right ahead. I'm just glad we got a win. It looked like an AFC North game. I mean, that looks like an AFC North scoreline right there. That really does. We had 11 rushing first downs. The corollary to it is this, or the opposite of it, I guess, is this. If you don't think we had a conservative game plan, then our coaches don't trust our quarterback. I mean, I don't know what the other explanation could be. If you don't think we were intentionally conservative, then we think that our path to win games is only let Lamar throw 16 times. Well, we didn't do that earlier in the year when he had 10 touchdowns through 3 weeks. I think it was 10, maybe it was 11, right? I know 2 of them was goal line situations, but nobody else talks about Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes or whoever and subtracts all their goal line touchdowns from their final number. If they end up with 45 touchdowns, they just say they had 45 touchdowns. They don't say, yeah, but 7 of them were goal line. 2 of them were pick-rub concepts where he really didn't have to do anything. And 2 of them were shovel passes. Nobody says that about Mahomes. Nobody says that about Josh Allen. So that's BS. Lamar had 10 touchdowns in the first 3 weeks, or maybe it was 11, like I said. He's not throwing that well since then. It's just a fact. Why is that? Well, I don't think that suddenly his ability level changed. I don't think our coaches don't want to throw the ball. I think he's hurt. I said that in a video last week that I thought, the elbow might be something he's dealing with, and now it comes out that he had a hip issue or lower rib issue and caused him to miss practice one day this week. So let me know what you think of those thoughts. I'm not worried about Lamar Jackson. I'm really not. I mean, if he plays, he's going to give us everything he's got. I think he fought through one today and showed real leadership. I thought a lot of the guys did, to get a win against a tough group of dudes. I mean, Nick Chubb and Myles Garrett start for every single team in the NFL somewhere. If Nick Chubb is on the Titans or he's on the Giants, then they start 2 running backs. They're the only team that starts 2 actual halfbacks at the same time. Only 2 teams that would do that. Like, them dudes start for every team in the NFL. And Njoku, Cooper, I think they're tough guys. Donovan Peoples-Jones, tough guy. We would have liked to have beaten them by more, especially on a day when it's not like Jacoby Brissett. He didn't throw for 3 touchdowns. And we forced 2 turnovers. So the numbers don't look pretty, but it's a win, and we'll take it, especially after the 3 losses we suffered this year. Well, the 1 loss we suffered just last week against the Giants, right? A game we very easily could have won, should have won. Let's be real. We should have won that game. So let me know what you think of those thoughts, what you think of my thoughts about our coach's game plan. If I'm going to be concerned about something, yeah, I'd be concerned about us throwing the ball, no doubt. I would say teams are going to come in and stack the box. Well, explain to me how they're going to stack the box. Like, what are they going to do? We eat up man-free generally when we're healthy. We have not done so in the last 2 weeks. So something's changed, if you ask me. I think it's that our quarterback's not 100%. And it doesn't surprise me that our score differential is close. Our score differential is close this year, for real. Look at all the close games we've had. Even 2 of our wins was close, right? The Bengals and now this one. That's the nature of the NFL. That's what the NFL wants. They want close games. They want us watching for 3.5 hours, and then they want us talking and debating about what someone could have done different to turn a 3-point loss into a 3-point win. That's what they want. That's why the game's officiated a certain way. Appreciate you guys checking the video out. Let me know what you think of my thoughts overall. Probably the first video I'm going to do this week, to be honest with you, besides Gus Edwards, is why I think Devin Duvernay needs to get the ball more. I think we have a hidden gem that I said this in our Discord. Maybe I said it in the video. I don't know. I think Devin Duvernay is the kind of guy that can win Super Bowl MVP. Like, he looks like a guy who returns a kickoff for a touchdown, has 1 or 2 receiving touchdowns, and maybe even 100 yards receiving in a suit. He reminds me of Desmond Howard. He reminds me of some of those guys, except I think Duve has a little bit more impact on the offensive side of the ball. I think incredibly highly of how he's playing. If I was going to complain about our offense, which I will in some of the videos, but a win is a win, and I'm not going to be Gloria and try to turn a win into a loss. If I was going to complain about something, it would be, I wish we figured out a way to get Devin Duvernay the ball 6-8 times a game. I can't remember who it was on Twitter. Maybe it was Camo or somebody like that. Said, we got to figure out a way to get him the ball 6-8 times. And I'm like, man, yeah, absolutely. Agree. Because it seems like when the ball is in Devin Duvernay's hands, good things happen. And I'm not sure how our coaches aren't identifying that. Let me know if you agree with that thought and some of my thoughts throughout this reaction video. We'll be shooting out some content to you guys tomorrow afternoon on the Ravens, obviously, and then also on who you think might be the best rookie edge defender in the NFL through 7 weeks.